In this problem, we have the first term of a geometric progression is 8, and the second term is 6, and they want us to find the sum to infinity. Alright, so keep in mind, if we're going to find the sum to infinity, the formula is pretty simple. It's just the first term over 1 minus r, but there is a requirement. The absolute value of r has got to be between 0 and 1. So that means it's got to be 0.5 or 3/4. It can't be bigger than 1 or less than -1. So we've got to make sure that that requirement's met when we use this. Anyway, we've got a first term and a second term. It's pretty easy to figure out r, because all we got to do to figure out r is take the second term and divide by the first term, and we'll find out that r is equal to 6/8 or 3/4. So 3/4 does meet the requirement of between 0 and 1, and so now all I've got to do is put 8 over 1 minus 3/4, or it's 8 over 1/4, which dividing by 1/4 is the same thing as multiplying by 4, so we get 32. Now the next one, we got first term is a 270, and the fourth term is 80. So we've got to figure out the r and then figure out the sum to infinity. So there's a couple different approaches to this. One is to lay it out. They're pretty close together, so it shouldn't be too hard to do. We've got the first and the fourth. Well, I'm going to multiply the first times r, and then that times r, and then that times r, and it's going to equal 80. So if I just write that, 270r cubed is equal to 80, all I got to do now is figure out what r is by getting it by itself. And when I get r to the third is equal to 8 over 27, well, the cube root of 8 is going to be 2, and the cube root of 27 is going to be 3. The other approach is to use the formula. Again, if it was more further apart, say for example I had the first and the 20th term, well then what I would probably do is fill in the formula here. I would know the last term, I would know the first term, and I would know how many terms I had. And so then I would just work the formula backwards. You'll see you're getting the same exact result. The answer is going to be r is equal to 2 over 3. Anyway, no matter how you get it, it is the absolute value of 2/3 is between 0 and 1. So I can use the formula. The first term is 270, so that's divided by 1 minus 2/3. Well, 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3, so 270 divided by 1/3 is the same thing as multiplying by 3. 270 times 3 is going to be 810. And that's the answer to that. So I hope that helped, and thanks for watching.